The Attorney General of Colorado is the state's chief law enforcement official. So the most important thing that I need to do and tackle is actually turning back this crime wave that we're in right now. We've got a 25-year high for violent crime. We're #1 in the country for car thefts and bank robberies. We've got skyrocketing fentanyl overdose deaths. We have the 47th worst crime rate now in the entire country. The Attorney General has a role in protecting the people of this state, and I will do that. Now, I want to be really clear for anybody that reads this or sees this. My opponent actually supported changes to the bond bill that would have made it so that police couldn't arrest somebody for class 4, 5, and 6 felonies. It would have made it practically they had to give them a ticket, essentially, and hope that they show up in court. And that's most car thefts. My opponent supported a bill that said you probably can't even give somebody a cash bond, even if it is appropriate, even if the judge thinks that it should be done. That is wrong for Colorado. We need to ensure that we're keeping people safe in our communities. I'll give you some examples here. When it comes to car theft in the 18th Judicial District, where I'm the district attorney, the largest judicial district in the state of Colorado with about 1.1 million people. And we looked at our people that are stealing cars, and we found that on average they've got 5 prior misdemeanor convictions, more than 3 prior felony convictions. They've got 2 other pending cases, usually outside of our jurisdiction. So what's happening right now is you've got people that are catching and releasing criminals back onto the streets to make more victims. That is unacceptable. We need an attorney general who will stand up for people and fight to change that system to ensure these people are held accountable. For Colorado has the right to decide its own abortion policy, not the federal government. This is an issue for the state to decide, and the people of our state have decided it, both through the legislature and at the ballot box. So yes, I would advise that we would challenge any sort of federal overreach that tries to change Colorado's law, which currently protects reproductive rights in our state. Right now we're in a 22-year mega drought on the Colorado River, and we've got 40+ million people that rely upon the water that comes from our headwater state. So that's a huge concern for us moving forward. There are calls for people saying we need to renegotiate the Colorado River Compact. I disagree with that. We need to fight against anybody who thinks that we should renegotiate that, because Colorado is probably not going to come out as a winner if that were to happen. We also need to ensure that the federal government is not encroaching on or impacting people's property rights with their water in the state of Colorado. Colorado has set for the longest time its own appropriations of water, its own allocations, and we need to ensure that system that has been effective for very long continues, to ensure that people that work in the agricultural industry, in the recreational industry, have access to the water they need to continue on with their businesses. I'd ask him why he supported a bill to allow convicted felons to now have guns. I'd ask him why he supported a bill that made it a misdemeanor to steal a car that's valued at $2,000 or less when it used to be a felony. These are things that are hurting some of the people in Colorado that can least afford it. I would ask him why he tried to advocate for a bill that would have made it harder for police to arrest people that commit serious crimes and made it impossible for judges to potentially hold those people in custody. So what we need to do right now is use the grand jury more effectively. The statewide grand jury has the power to go after the fentanyl traffickers who are peddling this poison in our communities. That is probably the most powerful law enforcement tool in the state. And we need a statewide solution and statewide leadership to go after the people who are trafficking these drugs. I'll do that as Attorney General. We're going after the drug traffickers and the dealers. We need to help people that are struggling with addiction to get clean and sober and have productive lives. And a lot of that comes from rehabilitative programs. But when it comes to the people who are peddling this poison, we've got to go after them aggressively and make sure that they cannot hurt people by distributing fentanyl, causing hundreds and hundreds of deaths in our communities.
But in this case, you will put them in a grand jury?
Would I go after the fentanyl traffickers in a grand jury?
Yes.
Yes. Consumer fraud protection is an important issue that we need to continue educating people about. This is something I've seen quite a bit as a district attorney, and it's very preventable. You know, a lot of people who are scammers and fraudsters are really trying to go after the elderly. They're trying to scam them out of their hard-earned money, and that's something that the Attorney General's office has worked on in the past, and I will continue to do, which is educating people about how to avoid these scams. Yeah, I like football and I like soccer, so I watch all kinds of sports. Love watching hockey and seeing the Avs win the Stanley Cup. But probably more than anything, I like watching my kids play. I did. I watched a lot. I remember the team Colo Colo was really good back then, but I also played a lot of rugby when I lived in Chile.